So with us today, we've got two folks. Firstly, Sean Taylor, who's the Executive Director of Technology Services at the Tacoma Public Schools, which is the third largest school district in Washington State.
Right.
The challenges that are faced today in the education market are sort of overwhelming. What are the challenges that IT can really help with? How can IT make this easier and simpler?
Well, I think it first starts that the biggest challenge we have is really a cultural type challenge within education. And the cultural piece is trying to understand the value of real-time, appropriate data to make decisions from, because there's so many different stakeholders that are really interested in trying to improve education. How do the educators get the right stuff to their fingertips to be able to make that happen? And that's where I think IT can help provide the leadership to help them understand the proper information to look at the proper time to be able to get to the right decisions in a real-time fashion. The consumers are mostly teachers, parents, principals, and central administration, because each of those stakeholder groups have different perspectives as to what they're trying to achieve. And so that's why it's sort of a culture challenge as to how to mesh and match the proper information to help address each of those groups. The principal portal is really a misnomer. It's more of a business intelligence type solution for first principals, and then it leads into teachers and central administration, ultimately students as well as parents. This principal portal is really starting out as an initial business intelligence solution to help bring real-time information to the principals to help them make operational decisions as they walk into the school. The initial part of this is really to help jumpstart, I'll say, the value of business information. What we're looking at is real-time attendance for teachers. So when a principal walks into the school, they know which classrooms has a teacher, which one has a substitute, or more importantly, which classroom has no adult in front of the kids.
None of the above, yeah.
And so it's a real-time type thing to help them learn the value of information. Also, as part of this initial principal portal, is we're tracking student discipline so that if something happened in the afternoon or in the evening, the principal knows first thing in the morning what students had incidents, and they could also click on the students' names to see what the history of them are to anticipate the calls from the parents or from others just as they walk through the door. Well, we're deploying this across the district from K through 12, and what we found also in education is most of the results that kids are achieving in the high school category is as a result of how they're performing or what the influencing indicators were of the kids in the elementary category. So if
it comes up all the way.
So as we can help address the issues early, the odds are those issues won't exist once they hit the high school category. We recently deployed the principal portal, which shows not only staff and student attendance, is also showing risk indicators for students. The next step is for teachers. We'll be deploying that out in about 6 weeks, which will show by student, by class category, how each kid is doing, and also trying to identify indicators that we could act quickly upon to help get a kid back on track that might be slipping. At this point, we're strictly English. It's going to be a later phase to be able to start to bring in different languages. We're just trying to, right now, get this out there and get people really wanting to consume this information so that we could go to the next step. I think the information needs are very similar. There's just maybe 5% difference within the education sector. But with how we've approached this type of a solution is we're trying to use out-of-the-box SharePoint solutions as much as possible, very little custom code, so that it is transportable to other industries or even within the education industry from site to site. Because it almost becomes a plug and play. You just have to normalize the data to feed into the web parts or into the Excel services type solutions that we've created, such as the Microsoft 365. If that SharePoint enabled solution gets out there, a standard approach to help teacher-student collaboration from a, I'll call it out-of-the-box type approach, will be a perfect solution for us to head towards. Matter of fact, our principal portal solution is partially a collaboration piece effort as well, and we're architecting that hoping to leverage a cloud-type solution to support that. We're very open to moving, I'll call it file services type server type functions into the cloud. When it comes to mission-critical applications, well, first, the cloud's going to have to be able to handle those applications within the cloud. That's a different set of the equation. But as far as data storage, file storage, I think that's the perfect way to go. I think the starting point is we worked a lot with the customers up front to be able to try to understand their business need for the information. Unfortunately, the customers are not really used to thinking that way.
No.
So we had to work for quite a while with Microsoft Consulting Services to help bring the right discussions to the table, to be able to get them to start to imagine the possibilities, so that then we could create a roadmap to start to do that. Without that upfront planning and discovery process, it'd be tough. And like you say, as they start to understand the value of information, the thirst and demand for it just grows exponentially.